Good day mga bay. Ito na naman po si Bert para sa Bert Talks Daily. And today, we're going to be talking about the Russian recruitment. Yung plano ni Putin at gagawin naman talaga niya yung pagre-recruit ng more or less 300,000 new Russian soldiers na gagamitin niya para sa digmaan doon sa Ukraine. Bagay na kinakatakot ng mga Ruso na ayaw na ma-involve sa gyera. Kasi nga ang dami na sa kanilang mga kakilala na naging sundalo ay pinadala sa Ukraine at hindi na nakabalik at marami sa kanila ay namatay. Kontra sa Ukrainian forces na very resilient at seemingly winning the war against the invading Russian forces. Ayon pa sa balita, Russia calls up 300,000 reservists and says 6,000 soldiers killed in Ukraine. Russia will draft 300,000 reservists to support its military campaign in Ukraine, Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said in a televised remarks. In Moscow's first update on casualty numbers in almost 6 months, Shoigu said 5,937 Russian soldiers have been killed since the start of the conflict. Yung aminado silang namatay ng mga Ruso ay aabot sa halos 6,000. Bagay na kinukontra ng intelligence units ng iba't ibang bansa, lalo na sa America at European countries, lalo-lalo na sa Ukraine. Kasi sabi nila, more than that number ang namatay o kasualidad ng Russia sa ongoing conflict or invasion. President Vladimir Putin has ordered Russia's first mobilization since World War II in an early morning television address, saying the additional manpower was needed to win a war against not only Ukraine but also its Western backers. So ibig sabihin, pinagpreparahan ni Putin hindi lang yung Ukraine kundi lalo na yung posibilidad na ma-engage o ma-involve yung other European countries against Russia. Shoigu dismissed assertions by Kiev and the West that Russia has suffered heavy losses in its 7-month campaign and said 90% of wounded Russian soldiers had returned to the front line. It was the first time Russia had given an official death toll since March 25 when it said 1,351 servicemen had died. The U.S. Pentagon said in August that it believed between 70,000 and 80,000 Russian personnel had been killed or wounded, and in July estimated Russia's death toll at around 15,000 people. Shoigu said Russia had 25 million potential fighters at its disposal. The decree published on the Kremlin's website said the call-up would apply only to reservists with previous military experience. So ito lang pala yung nire-recruit nila na gawing parte ng regular na puwersa ng Russia, yung naging reservist na. So yung iba dyan may trabaho na, yung iba may pamilya na. Ayaw na makilahok sa gyera kasi nga may malaking possibility na hindi na sila makakauwi, lalo na kung pagbabasehan natin yung datos ng Pentagon at yung ng Ukraine ay aabot sa 70 to 80,000 ka mga Russian soldiers ang namatay. A far cry from what Russia claimed to be just around 6,000 people. Ito nga yung sentimento ng mga Ruso. Yung mga young Russians nagsiliparan na palabas ng Russia just to avoid that possible conscription na puwersahin sila na magsilbi bilang sundalo ng Russia. Ayaw nilang mamatay, sabi pa ng karamihan. Ito nga yung isa sa mga interview ng Reuters at pakinggan natin yung interview na to.
Said he left Russia within weeks of the Kremlin sending troops into Ukraine because he feared having to fight in a war he doesn't support. The 22-year-old left St. Petersburg and is now working in Kazakhstan.
We feared President Putin would declare a mobilization and then everyone, young and old, would be called up to the army. I absolutely didn't want to go and fight.
Dagdag is among what some lawyers and rights advocates say is an increased number of young Russian men looking to avoid the country's mandatory military service. Since the conflict with Ukraine, which Russia calls a special military operation, started in late February. That is despite the risk of facing fines or up to 2 years in prison. In Russia, military service is mandatory for young men aged 18 to 27. Reuters spoke to 7 men seeking to avoid signing up.
So kung iisipin, maraming mga pamilya ang nababahala. Lalo na't isa sa kanilang mga anak ay magiging kaparte sa mga bagong batch ng soldiers na ipapadala ng Russia doon sa Ukraine. At may posibilidad na hindi na ito makakabalik. So yun nga ay nagsilabasan. Marami yung mga Russian men na pumunta na ng Europa, America at ibang bansa para makaiwas lang sa mga recruitment at conscription. More like conscription, yung puwersahang pag-activate sa isang tao na magiging kaparte ng regular force ng kanilang bansa. Ang kinakatakot ng mga Russian men na marami nga sa kanilang kakilalay na namatay, ayaw nilang sumunod. So yun yung dilema ngayon ni Russian President Vladimir Putin na iniiwasan ang ganitong pangyayari. Iniiwasan ng mga Russian men, marami sa kanila ang ayaw ng magsilbi bilang kaparte ng regular armed forces ng Russia para sumabak sa giyera. So titingnan na lang natin yung mga developments nito kung ano man ang kahihinatnan sa plano ni Putin na mag-recruit o kumuha ng panibagong batch ng soldiers na gagamitin niya against Ukraine and the possibility of also entering into a war with other European countries or even NATO, for instance. So kung may komento kayo patungkol dito sa ating pinag-uusapan, maaari lamang na pindutin nyo na yung comment section at huwag kalimutang i-like and share ang ating video at lalong-lalo na mag-subscribe kung hindi pa kayo nakapag-subscribe sa ating channel. Nang sa gayon ay ma-update kayo sa mga bago nating mga ina-upload na video araw-araw dito lamang sa ating channel. So this is your way of supporting, helping make this channel bigger and better. As always, ito naman po si Bert para sa Bert Talks Daily. God bless.